for whose initiative brought about the reforms.
Oh, that's
and the birth of the MPRA2, among other many people who have played a role in the pension administration in the country. Former CEOs, former board chairmen, corporate trustee heads, and stuff like that. So it was good.
Interesting, interesting. Yeah. Nana, you've headed the front when it comes to corporate relationships and other things. The two entities have partnered to do this pension education in the month of March. What has the yield been like personally on your views so far? What your assessment has been?
Before that, let me take this opportunity to say a big thank you to Adoatv. What you people have done is tremendously wonderful. We can't just understand what you have done. You have played a role, a human's role in the pension, education, and sensitization in this country. And we do very much appreciate it. In the evening, my CEO himself will say thank you to you. But as the head of the corporate services, corporate communications, let me say thank you for allowing us to share our views, our opinions, and education and all that with the general public to your medium. We checked, and so far I think we have been able to reach about nearly 1 million people.
That's wonderful.
For the past month, and that is wonderful. We want to say thank you to your crew, your management, yourself, and all other people who have been involved in this drive. Thank you very much.
We are most grateful to you.
And to come to your question, the first department of the that the expansion, the growth of the industry depends largely on our activities by way of sensitization and education, and then just getting people to understand what pension is. You know, the figures we have are not encouraging at all. You know, in this country we have about 11 million people in the active workforce.
Yes.
And out of this, 87% of these people are in the informal sector. And the 85%, only 3% of this huge number is on one pension scheme or the other. So we have a clear task to help people to understand and appreciate the need for them to join pension schemes. And that has been our, if you like, our primary activity all this while. And we have several things that we do. And we have, if you like, link up with people and institutions that matter in what we do.
Okay.
So
before we come to the specifics, let me ask how the authority has managed so far with a 10 years journey to reach out to the public on matters of pension, especially if you're able to have focus on the formal sector and informal sector, their understanding of what pension needs to be, and how do we bring them on board?
I think we have the formal sector whose connection is not that difficult because they are already in groups and they are formalized. So getting access to them is not a big deal. What we are trying to do for them in particular is to conscientize them to, you know, there are always problems with people getting to the end of their working life.
Exactly.
And most people do not check anything at all regarding their contributions and their relationship with SNET and other tier 2 institutions, I mean the corporate trustees. So when they are getting to their retirement, what we want to do and have been doing is to just alert them to work with their employers and their corporate trustees to look at the gaps within their contributions and fill the gaps and do all the preparations before retirement. This is not a very difficult thing for us to do. And as many corporate trustees, as many employees, as many employers that we have had these interactions with have cooperated very, very well with us. But what we have as a being is in regards to the informal sector. It is difficult because people, all these who are in Ghana, understand that pension is for people in the formal sector. A wrong connotation, a wrong impression, which we need to correct.
Where my grandmother Mokola feels that she's not liable to pensions.
Yeah, many people think they are not liable to pension, but for sure, one day, everybody will retire, irrespective of where you work.
Or what kind of work you do.
Because you cannot work forever and ever or until the day you die, unless something else happens. So we need to help people to understand and appreciate the need for them to be on pension. So we do this with, if you like, the government, parliament, the ministries, our board, and let me take some few minutes to explain this. No, we do the links with government because we do the government relations, because government is, if you like, the father of all workers, and government is so much concerned about the retirement and pension of workers. No government will want to see its citizens retiring into poverty, and this is what is happening. If we don't take measures to address the situation, the figures that I gave you earlier, what we are envisaging in the next couple of years is that we see so many people retiring into poverty, and their problems or burdens will not be only for them. It will be for you and I, and to the large extent, if you like, by per extension onto the government. And the government has to be rolling intervention programs for them, so that they can live comfortably. And if they are on their pension regulations, and if you like, the contributions that they make are sufficient for them to help them during their retirement, then the government will also have those monies that will have been put in interventions to do other things for them. So this is what we do. We liaise with Parliament because, for instance, last week we went to Parliament to have our budget approved, and the reason why we have to do this is we need money. You know, you bear me out that education, especially on TV and radio, sensitization and travels and other things are capital intensive. We have to do this to get people to understand and appreciate the need for them to be on pension. We have two ministries that we work with. The first one is the Ministry of Employment and Labor Relations, and then the second one is the Ministry of Finance. I want to believe our institution is unique because, for your information, that is the only institution in the country that falls under two ministries because of the unique role we play in the lives of workers in this country. And then we are also joined, we are a member of the International Organization of Pension Supervisors. It is a global body for pension regulators, and we are very active there, very, very active as a regulator in this country. And then when we come to the industrial players, we have the corporate trustees, where we link with them to do marketing, to teach them the things that they have to do to enroll more people onto their schemes. We go out with them for market activation and other sensitization programs. We do not register people on pension. It is these corporate trustees who do that. So whenever we have to go to any place, we have to get them on board. We also link up with the fund managers and fund custodians, whose duty is to work on the contributions workers and other people have made. They manage them, they look at where these monies have to be invested and all that. And then we also have a role to play in the administration or regulating, if you like, of SNET. You know, SNET is, somebody will say, SNET is a pension or pension, the SNET. They are huge. They started all this process. And we have to find a means of regulating them because they need to be regulated. And because of their size, their financial background and all that, we also have to come strong. If we don't come strong, we can't regulate them. And we have had a very comfortable rapport between ourselves and SNET in terms of regulation. Workers in this country are people that we deal with. And then pensioners, you know, if you are in an office, you realize at least we have about between 30 and 40 people visiting us a day. And then the number of emails and letters from pensioners regarding their contributions and problems relating to their pension funds or pension monies are enormous. So we deal with them. And importantly, we also have we have engagement with the media. So the media is also our partners, and then the trade unions in this country, and then faith-based organizations. We deal with all of these in terms of the work that we do.
When I listen to the deliverables on the work that you do, I find it to be extremely structured in terms of the bodies that you rely on. You've cited government, you've cited a lot of things. But when it comes to the issue that it will be predominant for you, that is reaching the informal sector, how have you been able to rally these institutions you work with, one, to do what, to develop blueprint plans for, you made mention of market activities and then sensitization programs that is extremely tailored at those that fall within the bracket of the informal sector, to see to it at the end of the day they really understand the impulse of pensions?
Yeah, I think we have come a long way, 10 years, and we have done a lot, but admittedly our effort has not been enough.
Have not been enough.
Yeah, and we still have it. You know, these things are not events. We can't just look at it a day and stop. It is a continuous process that we do, and we have had a very good rapport with the media in this country, who has helped us a lot. Some of the things that we have been able to do to get into the informal sector is through the media. So we have had our CEO engage some of the elite media houses in this country. We have developed that rapport. We have had a strategy in place that we're going to use to do that. In fact, we have started. We have the media sensitization that we also normally do. Every year we get together media personnel and talk to them and teach them the pension reporting. Pension is difficult industry. A journalist may decide to write anything, perhaps to help the industry or help the MPRA, but at the end of it, certain words, certain connotations,
might create more harm than is expected.
More PR disaster for us. So we get these people together always to just drive them along the way that we want all of us to go in terms of education and sensitization. In this same vein, we have instituted what we call the Best Pension Journalist Award. We wanted to start last year, but for the COVID we couldn't. So we're going for it this year. And in that, what we're going to do is to liaise with the Ghana Journalists Association, and then during the awards period, we also select one journalist who has done tremendously well in terms of
pension
reporting. And I wish somebody from here will win that for
Certainly we will.
So this is to whip up the interest of journalists in pension writing. And I think we have started. I think we'll get there. We have this sensitization program that we do for journalists too. This year we're going to do it. We'll do one in Accra and the other in Kumasi. We have regular publications that we do in the print media. We write a lot of pension articles or articles on pension to help people understand the concept well. It's a new thing. I must say it's 10 years and people do not still understand and appreciate it. Somebody gets into work and then he's enrolled on pension and for him that is all to it. I think there are certain nitty-gritties that we need to know. Every worker in this country needs to know about pension. And therefore either we write it ourselves or we commission people, consultants to write. So we find articles always in the dailies to sensitize people. And then we have jingles. We have developed jingles in English, Ga, Akan, Ewe, Dagbani, and Hausa that we're going to start playing on a number of media houses across the country, not only in Accra. All these things that I'm talking about, we have zonal officers. For now, we have Kumasi, we have Tamale, we have Sunyani, we have Takrady, and in the next couple of weeks, we're going to open one at Tema, where we have people well versed in communication activities who are going to lead out these activities in these areas.
So that will have to do with plans that you have towards expansion,
yes,
I believe.
Yeah, expansion.
So aside the zonal aspect, you have regional offices and
no, what we call them zonal because we have not been able to go to every region. So for instance, this the Tamale one, we call it zone because it looks after all the northern sector, including Upper East, Upper West, all those regions.
Okay, so how many zones, if you could say, that you have now?
For now, we have 4. And that is Tamale, Sunyani, Takrady, and Kumasi.
That's fine.
And then we're going to Tema very, very soon. So besides these things, we have also engaged the Information Services Department.
Yeah.
You know, they are everywhere.
They are everywhere.
Almost
they are very pivotal in
this
the rural
thing,
areas.
Has as trainer of training workshop to train their staff all over, and they have opportunities to do programs and events everywhere in this country. And when we educate them and give them the support and the materials, they will represent us in sharing the message on pension to the
You've clearly been able to give a clear cut on the path that MPRA takes. Its work, its scope, and how it's able to reach out to the people. But the agencies that MPRA works with, like the trustees and as well as SNIT, what then becomes their own responsibility in terms of reach out to the people, in terms of either be it in collaboration with the MPRA, so that the ordinary citizens that they engage them, be it those in the formal sector, informal sector, will be able to appreciate and understand, if I should borrow your words, appreciate and understand the path of pensions properly. What then becomes their responsibility?
I think I mentioned it, but let me expatiate on that. And that is, it is their duty as well to help sensitize the general public, especially those in the informal sector, to come on board their schemes. This is not forthcoming as we want it to be. So what we have devised as a means to help them is we're going to have, it was supposed to have even come on next week, but for some reasons we have deferred it to a later part of next month. And what we are going to try to see is that we want to see every corporate trustee in this country having a marketing department or outfit or desk where that aspect of their engagement will be used primarily to sensitize people. You know, for them, I'm sorry to say it here, but for most of the trustees, they like working in the formal sector because in the formal sector you don't have to hustle too much, you don't have to struggle yourself and stuff like that.
So that people understand
it, and then it is a group of people who will say that we want Adoatv pension scheme to be our trustee, and then they will come to you. But in the informal sector, it is rather you
that you have to go and do the
convincing. And how many people can you convince in a day? How many or how much quantum of money are you going to get from those people?
And this initiative will even create jobs.
Yeah. So if you look at it, that place is more or less on the downside, and we need to revive it.
So I think that if this initiative is looking at expanding the coverage of the informal sector with the trustees, what other engagements are we also going to do with them to see to it that we have a wider coverage?
Yeah, that's what I was coming to. We're going to see whether they don't have marketing department, and we by if you like compel them in a way to have it. And then if they need training, we will provide the training. We will support them in every aspect of that work. Because what we do is, when we go on market sensitization across the country, once I said to you that we don't register people on pension schemes, it's rather the corporate trustees, we expect them to come along with us so that as many people as possible who are enthused to get onto pension are registered. But believe you me, the highest number that we have had to going out with, out of the 30 corporate taxis that we have, is 7. And it is always this 7. So others, I ask myself, what are they doing? And we need to help them.
So, as a regulatory institution, what is your line with them? What are you doing to scoop them or whip them on board so that this vision of the authority will be achieved probably in the very shortest time?
Yeah, that's what I'm arriving at. That we need to find a way of helping them. Our observation is that some of them do not have the marketing department, even corporate or public affairs department. They don't. But we need to help them to establish them. And my CEO has the view that this will be part of licensing and renewal of licensing policy. For instance, if we come to you and you don't have marketing department, we will compel you to have it. If you fail to have it and we come the next time and you don't have it, we will refuse to renew your license. So these are some of the things that we're going to do.
That's fine.
To help them come out of that.
That's fine. I think by and large, there's a need to enhance the conversation of pension, widen the pensions network. So the authority is 10 years. If we should take it from here now to 2030, when you be celebrating your 20 years, how do we seek to grow the pension network or base of Ghana?
Yeah, we are doing well, but like I said, our effort has not been enough to get the people to see us well, because for now we're struggling with visibility. You know, I went to a place and then I said I work with the National Pensions Regulatory Authority, NPRA, and the person asked me, is it the petrol people? And I said, no, pension. And then he said, well, then the SNIT. What about SNIT? You know, people do not know NPRA properly. So we have lined up some activities in the next 5 years. We just came out from a retreat, if you like, where we drew our 5-year development plan. And we want to be visible as much as possible throughout the whole country. At least if you hear NPRA, you know what it is. So we're going to have, if you like, a talk with the Minister for Education, where in the long term, we want to make pension part of Ghana's education curriculum.
Wow.
So that from the very onset, and like elsewhere in the world, the child will know what is pension, appreciate pension before he comes out of school to work. So issues of pension will not be a problem for him. We are going to have our first, if you like, the maiden pensions week in this country, where we're going to have the government hierarchy being present to tell the whole nation that this is NPRA and this is what we do and this is what we want you to understand and appreciate. That to be on a pension scheme, not only to be on pension scheme, but to be to participate, to get involved in your own pension issues. So we have a lot of things that we're going to do. Tomorrow, for instance, we have invited a good number of media houses, including Adoatv, to come to our office. The CEO is going to have engagement with them to tell them about where we're going from now after 10 years and the way forward and how we want the media to help us, among other things. So we hitherto had problems with disability, but we know for sure the programs and the pragmatic policies that we have put in place will help us resolve some.
I think that the media has really been an essential tool for you in this journey of yours. Yeah. But in terms of wrap up, what should we finally, with aside of the expansion network that you have for yourself, the issue concerning visibility, what would be your final charge to citizens, to Ghanaians, to friends who are watching when it comes to the NPRA, its activities, and how citizens should also row on board to see to it that you achieve your aims and objectives as an institution?
Yeah, we want to everybody, even those who have already retired and they are enjoying their benefit. We want every single Ghanaian to know what is pension. And that is what we are there for. We are there to let people know, our mandate to let people know what is pension and let people know what we want to do for them. So they should patronize our, for instance, social media activities. We are on Facebook, we are on Twitter, we are on YouTube, Instagram, among many others. And then they can even walk in to our offices. If you don't want to walk in, you are far away, we have zonal officers that you can link up with. If you don't want to, you can just pick a phone and call us on 0302 968692 or 93, or our free toll number, which is 0800 76 6000. And we are available. Our customer services ladies are always on their phones to welcome your suggestions, to welcome your petitions, and really we're doing well at that area too. So let me say, for instance, last month, for instance, we had about 300 petitions over, and we managed to have time to address all the petitions that we have. So we encourage the general public to follow us as we go along to work on their behalf.
Okay, ensuring that retirement income is secure. So your security concerning your retirement is with the NPRA. We want to say a very big thank you to yourself, Nana Sifachum, your CEO, and then the whole institutions for agreeing to collaborate with us. I think it's been 2 years running. Last year we started on a partial note.